JSA the World, episode 1.14, Conquer Yourselves. As Khalid searches for Nathaniel, he finds him on the rooftop of an abandoned building waiting for Khalid to appear for the final showdown. So he finally came. He wasn't surprised with how long it took to Nathaniel. He always had a knack for being late when we were kids. Are you here to talk? Or are you here to just let me finish you off quickly? Asked Khalid. In a minute, but first, let me tell you that you are truly just like the pseudo who serve you, a fake imitation of a human, replied Nathaniel. What are you talking about, replied Khalid. I'm nothing like those pseudo who serve me. I'm the real deal. What so you say? You see, I've been looking at how you ran the reward throughout these past few years, and to tell you the truth, everything about you is a fake, replied Nathaniel. Back in our glory days, you always came off as insincere with your peers, which is why you often backstabbed them, or they ended up leaving you behind for some strange reason. When you were once a member of JSA, you just didn't betray your teammates and the people you yourself swore to protect, but your own partner is in the end. After everything that Maiden did for you, you had the nerve to push her aside when things seemed to go your way. If that's not enough, you even went as far as to mind control the masses, using the power of ancient artifacts in an effort to gain some form of power and control. Yet, in the end, all you achieved was a fake power to make you seem big and bad in the eyes of the masses. But at the same time, you know from the bottom of your heart, you'd be nothing more than a worthless criminal without Nephthys. Face it, Khalid. You've been living a complete lie your entire life, and you try your best to make it seem like you're so perfect and omnipotent, but in the end, it's all a gigantic act of pretentiousness to help boost your self-esteem issues. So let's start over. Who are you? Asked Nathaniel. Khalid stands silently at a loss of words. I am Khalid, my boy, the one who will assassinate you and get my reward. With that accomplished, I will finally gain my own identity, and I'll be much more than a pseudo, explained Khalid as Nathaniel then shakes his head saying, I pity the staff, fool. Now I finally understand why you've become a dark pseudo. Elsewhere, the three groups all eventually make it to the same place as they all discuss their individual stories. Christine tells them all the important news about Khalid. So you see, it's like there's a con to whether Khalid lives or dies. It's like he planned this entire thing from the beginning just to shove it into our faces, replied Dante. Still, I kind of agree with Raven's opinion she said earlier, said Justin. It'd be easier to deal with them all together than separate. It's kind of like they're enticing people to kill Khalid, especially with these soldiers responding as long as Khalid's around. It's almost like fighting an army of immortals, said I. So, what do you guys agree or disagree? Raise your hand, said Raven. Half said yes to slay him, and another half were against it. While the group came to an indecisive choice, figures that appeared like Pseudo came before them. As the group was getting ready to fight, these Pseudo begged JSA not to hurt them. Wait, don't hurt us. We're not your enemies, exclaimed one Pseudo. We're just here to hear you guys, said another. This was very odd to the group because these Pseudo bear strikingly resistance to lone girls and pose no threat whatsoever. Why are you all doing this anyway? Asked Ike. I thought you all saw us as the enemy. Not all of us are like that, replied the Oracle Pseudo. We Oracle Pseudo only take orders from Nephthys, and all she wants to do is put an end to this senseless fighting. And to help do that, we took it upon ourselves to kill everyone, JSA, military, and the Lord indiscriminately, said another Pseudo. That is greatly appreciated, you all. Because of this, you guys made me realize that not all Pseudo are as bad as they seem. There's no problem, really. Oh, but I do ask only one thing. Save the world for us, okay? Okay, sure. But first, can I have your number? Asked Dad. What kind of question is that? Sharply replied the Oracle Pseudo. Who asks for somebody's phone number at a time like this? I don't even have my phone on me anyway. Well, if you did, you would have given me your digits, right? Asked Dad. What? Asked one Pseudo. Sweet. Free girlfriend, explained Dad. This guy didn't even hear a word I said, did he? Asked one Pseudo. You have to forgive Ed. He forgot to take his pain pills this morning, added Raven. Man, this dude's tripping, replied Aaron. He needs to take those pills every day. After JSA thanked the Oracles for their help, they all continued traveling together. When the reform group reached the other side of the city, they all ran across countless incapacitated team members and soldiers lying unconscious. What on earth? Exclaimed Gina. Who and what could have done this? In the distance, something swiftly moved around in the dark crevices of the great piles of rubble in the area. Everyone's nervously looking around to see what it was. Out of nowhere, the figure appeared right in the middle of the group and struck everyone with a shadow weapon. Look, not this again, exclaimed Bruce. So, you're the ones who did this. Those people, asked Kage. What can I say, replied Silhouette. None of them can even touch me, so I did. So they were easily defeated. But don't worry, you all soon join their fate real soon. As they all used their strength to fight against it, none of their attempts made any difference. You know, I really like entertainment. Now, why don't we shake things up a bit, exclaimed Silhouette, as he once again animated the JSA shadows and made each and everyone fight against their equivalent. The result remained the same as usual. None of their attacks worked and the fight was long and tedious. Right? Episode 1.15, Lion vs. Scorpion. Elsewhere, Khalid and Nathaniel began to brawl it out with using all their powers on each other. Moments later, the two engaged in an ultimate battle royale. You know how this works, right? Said Khalid. When this penny drops, we begin. Khalid took the penny from his jacket and put it into the air as the two ran in circles, ready to fire. When the penny dropped, Khalid used his machine gun and shot multiple rounds of bullets at Nathaniel as he deflected them with his solar shield. Both of them started fighting in the middle of the air at high incalculable speed. Nathaniel grabbed Khalid as he threw him to the ground and punched Khalid repeatedly. Khalid retaliates by emitting a blood-red aura that sent Nathaniel flying across the Great Lake and back. As Khalid chased after him, he saw no trace of Nathaniel. However, when Khalid looked up, he saw Nathaniel send down a major flare at Khalid as it sends him to the bottom of the lake, immediately reducing its range. As the injured Khalid gets back up, he screams and unleashes an atomic beam from his hands that hit Nathaniel as well as destroy half his team. Nathaniel used all elemental fuses possible against Khalid, which Khalid had a counterattack. Nathaniel's moves with all physical powers ever discovered, which leads the city itself to be destroyed. When it was assumed that Khalid struck the final blow, Nathaniel appeared behind him with his signature move that he himself created, the Amphibian Halo Charge. This powerful Nathaniel turned into a beam of pure light that was practically invincible. With one touch, it sent Khalid flying into the buildings miles away. When Khalid struck back to blast his power, Nathaniel blasted Nathaniel into the stratosphere. Nathaniel then sent down the power of the sun itself and scorched away Khalid's immortality. The blaze was so great that it was enough to split the sky and the atmosphere, leaving nowhere on Earth for 1 millisecond and completely obliterate the target matter itself. Khalid barely survived but was covered in blood, damaged severely, and only remained alive due to the constant work he absorbed from nectar. Although Nathaniel was completely exhausted, he grabbed Khalid by the collar and shoved him against the building, yelling, "Did that wake you up? Have you finally come to your senses? You're satisfied? It's over. This is it, so get over it." Nathaniel pulls out his gun and shoves it in Khalid's neck. At that same moment, Silhouette leaves the group for unknown reasons. It says, "Well, kids, looks like we'll have to play another time. Turns out I have unfinished matter to attend to with their leader." "Hey, get back here," yelled Dante. "What are you two waiting for? Go after that thing," yelled Justin. As half the group split up to go after Silhouette, the shadow controlled Nathaniel's shadow without his notice and paralyzed him. "What are you?" said Nathaniel. "Shh. Relax," replied Silhouette. As soon as Dante and the others managed to see a glimpse of their leader, they were stopped once again by the shadows and covered their mouths. "Now we wouldn't want you guys to miss the event of the century now, would we?" roared the shadows. "Looks like today's the day that finally get to kill my last bounty and get the reward, explained Khalid. Death's finale, black sarcophagus. Silhouette then engulfs Nathaniel's body in the form of an inky black sarcophagus, which eventually explodes into little black strands of shadows and reveals itself as Silhouette returns to Khalid's side. So this must be the remnant of Nathaniel's power. Interesting. Said Khalid to himself as the other JSA members were horrified seeing the instantaneous death of Nathaniel. I must say, Dante, Gina, your father was truly a leader fit for a meal, exclaimed Silhouette. As all of the others struggled to get free from their shadows, Gina remained motionless and horrified. This phenomenon piqued Silhouette's curiosity. As Silhouette released Gina from her shadow, he taunted her, saying, "Ah, looks like Daddy's little girl is still upset from our little dispute." Gina remained silent with tears flowing down her cheek like a waterfall. You know, I adore that look of yours. That's the look of a completely broken woman. Woman. What's wrong? Got nothing else to say? Didn't you and Dante used to think your father was so annoying? Wished you could stop embarrassing you two? Just wanted you to just disappear? You might say I was doing you a favor, said Silhouette. Said Gina as she regained her composure and stabbed him. Silhouette then threw her against the wall, replying, "Where do you think I'm from?" "That's enough, Silhouette," exclaimed Khalid. "It's useless to deal with the likes of them now. We got our bounty. Now it's time to... No. Time's almost up. Quickly, transport us to the top of that tower. We have to activate the sundial or we won't be able to use it for another millennium." Silhouette and Khalid dropped into their shadows and transported themselves to the tower. Shortly, Khalid chanted the sacred hymn and blinded light began to shine forth from the building. The bloody red sky became like pure gold, and the powerful beam began to blow everything away from the sea. JSA military and board of light. When everyone recovered from the explosion, they saw a beautiful golden sky. However, the city was now reduced to a giant desert filled with glistening winds and destroyed skyscrapers. The JSA teams were all scattered individually. Each of them saw a gigantic time-space rift on the top of the highest tower in the city. That rift, it must be Khalid. But as far as ways I am from the city as possible, looks like I'll have to use Klaus's gold shard to get there. But I have a feeling that once I get there, there's no way I can leave. But I refuse to be last place, thought Justin, as he saw all the other members get there before him. Justin then used Klaus's shards to boost his physical attributes, causing him to fly at blinding speeds by mixing his native powers with the shard. By Justin pressing forward with all his might, he was just barely able to fly through the rift only by a millisecond before it permanently closed up. Okay, so this has been chapters 14, Conquer Yourselves, and 15, Lion vs. Scorpion. Okay, the next chapter, titled The Immortal Tyrant, will be the penultimate chapter of this book, and it basically covers the final showdown between JSA and Khalid Laborde. So, like always, don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thank you guys for listening.